Hello, everyone. This is my presentation on the Wechsler Individual Achievement Test, the WAT, the third edition. So, the overview of the test. It's a comprehensive academic achievement test. It measures skills in listening, speaking, reading, writing, and math. It can be used for anyone ages 4 years, 0 months to 19 years, 11 months. And the time of administration varies based on how many subtests are completed. There are 16 total subtests. They do not all need to be completed to get a total achievement composite. Let me see if I can move myself quick. So there are 8 composite scores. They include, I'm not going to list all 16 subtests. They are in a few slides. I'll review them for the basal and ceilings, but I'm not going to list them here. The 8 composite scores include oral language, total reading, basic reading, reading comp, and fluency. And then there's written expression, math fluency, and then total achievement. So the uses of this test, it can be used in clinics, private practices, schools, which is what I am kind of focusing on, residential treatment facilities, and in research. It helps to determine the strengths and challenges that students or individuals have and inform decisions for education around eligibility, placement, and services. It also helps with goals, objectives, and interventions for students who might be struggling in certain areas. It can pinpoint the more specific area of need. And it also is useful in diagnosis of specific learning disabilities. Norming sample and procedures. So this test was normed with 2,775 individuals based on, they were not randomly selected, but it was stratified to represent the 2005 census. The individuals were in grades preschool to 12th grade, and 1,400 of them were tested in the fall and 1,375 in the spring. There is a version of this test for individuals who are above the 12th grade, but I did not go into depth on that at all. The norms were stratified based on grade, age, sex, race/ethnicity, education level, and region. There were unique groups that were included and represented, and there were 30 individuals from each group from specific learning disability, speech and language impairment, and developmentally delayed. Cautions, limitations, or drawbacks. So this is not for use with individuals over age 20. So a drawback that I thought of was students who are still a part of the education system but are in 18 to 21 programming. You'd have to have a totally different testing kit for that group of individuals, and there was no evidence provided that they took into considerations different cultural or gender groups for test use and interpretation. And this is one issue that I have in education in general, is that there are so many people of different cultures nowadays that we do not understand their culture. So we might be identifying that a student has some self-advocacy needs or has a sensory processing difficulty, but really it might be their culture not being the stereotypical white middle class culture, and their beliefs are different. So we are trying to put them in a box that they don't necessarily need to fit into. Administration and scoring information. So you do not need to administer all 16 subtests. You can score by hand, however, it is not recommended. There is a scoring CD in the kit, and that is the recommended way to help prevent errors in scoring. The scores provided from the scoring is the standard score, the percentile rank, the grade and age equivalent, the norm curve equivalent, and stanines. I don't know how to say that. Statnines. And as I said earlier, administration time varies based on how many subtests you're giving. It is recommended to sit at a 90-degree angle from the student so that they can see the back of the test, but they cannot see what you are doing on the front of the test. And to pick a quiet, comfortable environment that is catered to them. So maybe if you're testing kindergartners, you are sitting in a kindergarten chair. Bummer. I wouldn't fit very well. I'm too tall, but I would do it. So here is the standard scoring classification. I might have this in there twice. Whoops. Over 131 or 98% is very superior, all the way down to 90 to 110 or 25 to 75% is average, 69 and below of the standard score, or oops, that's supposed to be 0.1% to 2% is very low. Sorry about that error. Basal and ceiling rules. So this gets a little deep for a few minutes. So the rule is for several of the tests is to discontinue after 4 misses. This is true for listening comp, pseudo word decoding, word reading, and oral expression. The administrators, the creators of the test, want you to discontinue after 2 misses for sentence comprehension. The reverse rule until 3 consecutive scores of 1, and then discontinue after 4. So that means you're starting at a certain point based on grade and age level, and if they get those 3 wrong, you have to go backwards and keep asking them questions until they can get 3 correct, and then you move on. And then you discontinue after 4 misses for math problem solving and numerical operations. Early reading has a varied start. There's no ceiling or discontinue rule, but the start varies. Pre-K to 3rd grade starts on numbers 1 through 6. 4th grade and above starts numbers 7 through 11. Reading comprehension has a start and end based on grade level. Alphabet writing fluency is also for pre-K to 3, and there are no ceiling or discontinuation rules, obviously. Essay composition is for grades 3rd through 12, and you write for 10 minutes, and if they finish early, you have to make sure that they have at least 30 words on their paper. Spelling is to discontinue after 4 misses. However, it has a very interesting start. For kindergarten and 1st grade, you start at 1, 2nd grade 7, 3rd grade 9, 4th through 8 is 16, 9 through 12 is 20. Math fluency, you have subtraction, addition, and multiplication, and you get 60 seconds per test. Whew. Done with that one. Materials needed. So you obviously need your testing kit, which includes your manual, your CD, your stimulus book, the scoring workbook, oral reading fluency books, word cards, pseudo word cards, audio CD, response booklets, forms, and the scoring reports. In addition to that, you'll need something to write with and a stopwatch for the math tests. Derived scores are based on age and grade equivalent, and also a growth scale value can be given. This was developed by taking the median score for each grade and age and creating a curve. Interpretation of results. Scores can range from 40 to 160, with 90 to 109 as the average. I kind of listed them earlier with the percents as to where each superior, very superior, or very superior, high average, average, low average, low, and then very low. Assessment uses. This can be very useful in evaluation for understanding strengths and challenges in the reading, math, writing areas. It helps teams with decisions for eligibility for special education and other services, placement, and then what services they might need and qualify for in service minutes. Diagnosis, second time, of learning disabilities and dyslexia, and supports writing goals, objectives, and interventions. I also kind of had this earlier in the uses section. Reliability, and then followed by validity. It was determined by grade level and age. 7 of the 8 subtests had internal consistency and test-retest reliability. The one that did not was the alphabet fluency. I believe that was the one where let me go back, where they had to write the alphabet. And that one also was not required as required test for total composite score. So time between test retest ranged from 2 to 28 days. However, the average for the younger students was 13 and the average for the older students was 14 days. The interscore agreement was really high for most tests. The like 98, 99%, and more subjective tests like the essay comp and the sentence building was 91 to 99% interrelator score agreement. Content validity, oh shoot. I did not finish those slides. Let me pause this and go back and finish them. All right, we are back on with validity. So, but I have lost my face. Oh well. Let's see. There we are. Content validity is very high. There's very high levels of correlation between similar tests within the test, similar subtests within the test kit, and this also correlates with other similar achievement and ability tests like the Woodcock-Johnson and other tests like that. So they are all similarly measuring what they need to measure. Let's see if I can make this work. Quality. There's high reliability and research is showing increasing validity. The materials are easy to use, and the report that it prints out, is fantastic for planning, especially goals, objectives, and interventions. My impressions. I liked it because I feel like our district uses the Woodcock Johnson a lot, so it was nice to learn about a different test option. Just to spread out, have some diversity. And then I was a little disappointed when the developer said that there um, were no considerations related to culture or gender, because I think that is so important, especially in our area where there is a diverse culture and everyone is expecting them to fit into a certain box and they do not. And that's not necessarily a disability, it is just a different cultural expectation. Alternate assessments. There were several listed in the book that I listed in the PowerPoint. Some of the more well knowns are like the Wide Range Achievement Test, 4th edition Woodcock Johnson, Test of Academic Skills, and many others. I think I listed like 8 of them here. And there are my references. Thanks for watching.